Hello everyone, this is part 1 of drawing permanent maxillary right central incisor. In this video, I will show you how to draw the labial and lingual aspects.
The equipment you need are graph paper, ruler, mechanical pencil, and eraser. First, I will draw the labial and lingual aspects. For measurement of tooth measurement table are needed: the length of the crown, length of the root, mesiodistal diameter of crown, and mesiodistal diameter of crown at cervix. As was explained previously in lab sessions, before starting drawing tooth outlines, we need to draw 3 reference lines in addition to the midline. The midline will divide the tooth into 2 equal halves. Here we have the mesial half and this is the distal half. Then we have the line which passes through the root apex, the line that passes through the cervix or the cervical line, and the line that passes through the incisal edge. First, to draw the labial outline of the crown, first I will draw the incisal line, or the first reference line that passes through the incisal edge of the tooth. Perpendicular to this line, I will draw the midline that divides the tooth into 2 equal halves. This will be the mesial side, and this is the distal. To draw the second reference line, which is the line that passes through the cervical area, I need to know the length of the crown. The length of the crown is 10.5. Since the magnification is 4, I will multiply it by 4. This will equal 42 millimeters. So I will measure 42 millimeters and then put a mark. This is 10 millimeters, 20, 30, 40, and this will be 42. Here I will draw the second reference line, which will be parallel to the first reference line that passes through the incisal area. And the midline is perpendicular to these 2 reference lines. Then I will draw the third reference line that passes through the root apex. To draw it, I need to know the length of the root. The length is 13 millimeter multiplied by 4. This will equal 52 millimeters. I will measure 52 millimeters and mark it on the paper. This is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and this is 52. I will put a mark. And then draw the third reference line, which will be perpendicular to the midline and parallel to the other 2 reference lines. So I have the incisal line, cervical, and the line that passes through the root apex. After completing drawing my reference lines, I will divide the crown into 3 equal thirds vertically: the cervical third, the middle third, and the incisal third. To do this, I will divide the length of the crown, which is 42. I will divide it by 3. This will equal 14 millimeters. So, from the incisal reference line, I will measure 14 millimeters up and put a mark. Then from this point, I will measure another 14 millimeters and put a mark. Then, through these 2 marks, I will draw 2 additional lines parallel to the 3 reference lines and perpendicular to the midline. Thus, I divided the crown into cervical third, which is near the cervix, the middle third, and the incisal third, which is near the incisal edge. To draw the crown outline, I will need the other two measurements, which are the mesiodistal diameter of the crown and the mesiodistal diameter of a crown at cervix. I will start with the mesiodistal diameter of a crown at cervix, which is this one. It equals 7 millimeters. Multiplied by 4, it will equal 28. Then I will divide it by 2, it will equal 14 millimeters, so that I can draw two symmetrical outlines from the mesial and distal sides. So from the cervical line or the second reference line that passes through the cervix, I will measure 14 millimeters to the mesial side and put a mark. Then I will measure 14 millimeters to the distal side and put a mark. This will represent the width of the crown or the mesiodistal diameter at cervix. Then, to mark the mesiodistal diameter of the crown that represents the maximum width of the crown mesiodistally, I will use this measurement, which is 8.5 millimeters. I will multiply it by 4. It will equal 34 millimeters. I will divide it then by 2. It will equal 17 millimeters. So to locate this 17 millimeter measurement exactly, I will need to follow the lecture information regarding the exact position of each contact area. As you have studied, the mesial contact area is located in the incisal third of the crown, approaching the mesio-incisal angle, while the distal contact area or the crest of curvature of the crown distally is located at the junction between the incisal third and the middle thirds. So I will follow this information to mark the exact position of the mesiodistal crown diameter, both mesially and distally. As we said, the measurement is 17 millimeters, so mesially I will measure 17 millimeters in the incisal third. This is 10 and this is 17. I will put a mark here near the incisal reference line. While distally, as we mentioned, the distal contact area is located at the junction between the incisal third and the middle third. So I will measure 17 millimeters and put a mark exactly on this line, since the distal contact area is located at the junction between incisal and middle thirds. Now I will draw the crown outline. I will start with the mesial outline. As you have studied in the lecture, the mesial outline of the crown is straight or slightly convex. So I will draw slightly straight or slightly convex outline. Approaching the incisal area, I have a relatively sharp mesio-incisal angle, while the distal outline is more curved and convex than the mesial outline. And this is the crest of curvature or the distal contact area. The distal incisal angle is rounded. The incisal outline is straight and regular. Then I will draw the cervical line, which shows even curvature toward the root or convex root-wise. Starting from here, I'll go down with a smooth arc, the same on the mesial side. Finally, I have to draw the root outline. I will start from the apex, which is blunt and rounded. Then I'll draw the mesial and the distal outline of the root. So I will have a cone-shaped root with a bluntly rounded apex. After completing the labial aspect, I will draw the lingual aspect. The same procedure will be followed. I will draw the three reference lines. I'll draw the midline and will divide the crown into 3 equal vertical thirds. So I will mark these two measurements. First, starting from the midline along the reference line that passes through the cervical area, I will measure 14 millimeter to the mesial and to the distal aspects. I will locate the exact position of mesial and distal contact area and mark this measurement in this location. Then, as I draw in the labial aspect, I will complete drawing the outline of the crown. The mesial outline is straight or slightly straight, with a sharp mesio-incisal angle, while the distal outline is more convex with a more rounded distal incisal angle. The incisal outline is regular and straight mesiodistally. Then I will draw the cervical line, which is curved root-wise. Then I will draw the root, which is cone-shaped with a bluntly rounded apex and regular mesial and distal outlines. Then, to complete the lingual aspect, I have to mark the anatomical landmark of the lingual aspect. In the lingual aspect, we have convexities and concavity. The convexity is represented by the cingulum, which is located in the cervical third. I will draw a smooth arc in the cervical third. This represents the cingulum. Mesially and distally confluent with the cingulum, we have the mesial marginal ridge and the distal marginal ridge. In the middle, we have the lingual fossa. Here we have the lingo-incisal edge. So this is the lingual aspect with its anatomical landmarks.